Welcome everybody to another great episode of Real Life Matters. And of course, I'm your host, DBoss. Now, I'm telling you, I can't wait for this episode. I have a very special, phenomenal lady today on. She's a owner, a co-founder, a wife, a mother. She's part of, she says everything you have to do is have a warrior spirit. So I'm going to no further introduce you to Dr. Hakeemah Jihad Muhammad.
Peace and blessings. How's everybody? How you doing, sis?
We are so blessed today to have you on. You're a phenomenal woman of many hats. So we're going to have to dissect you down today.
All right.
So can you tell everybody where you come from and your background?
Oh, okay. I come from Chicago, Illinois, in the United States. My background, you mean as far as culture?
Yes.
Okay. My father, I come from a Puerto Rican father and an Ethiopian mother, so I'm a sister with culture.
Ooh, you got a lot of flavor there.
Yeah, I got a lot of fire. You know, I look like Ethiopian, but when I speak, people go, "Oh, there go a Puerto Rican right there."
Well, that's your Puerto Rican. That's a really good, great combination. You know what I mean? Wow. So for you now, you've done so many things, and we were speaking a little bit off air about all the stuff that you've done, and you said, what you're saying is that when you have to do a lot of things in order to be able to help others, correct?
That's true. I mean, when you teach, at least when I teach, I'm not going to generalize, I'm going to personalize. When I teach, I have to pull from an experience. And the only way that you could teach, you have to have life experiences. You can't teach people how to overcome difficulty if you've never faced difficulty and overcame it yourself. So in order to teach, you got to teach from experience, or it's not authentic, it's not genuine, it's fake.
Right. So tell us about your organization, Haqq, meaning the truth.
You mean as far as my company?
Yes.
Oh, Hakeemah Jihad Enterprises. That's my consulting company. So from that, I'm very big in social justice. I'm very big in the development of business owners and big on leadership. And my background, my doctorate is in organizational leadership. So my focus in any environment that I'm in is to increase the level of leadership. And that includes in families, that's in business, that's in non-for-profit organizations, for-profit organizations. It doesn't matter where you at. No matter where you at, there's a business structure to it, because a marriage has a business structure. Even though people don't want to look at it like that, it is an entity. And if you don't manage it properly, it's going to crumble. So it's no different than a company, no different than a friendship. Friendships have structure too. And if you don't have boundaries, they won't be successful. So, I mean, no matter what aspect of your life, you have to bring leadership.
So tell us a little bit about your marriage. Like, what would you relate to somebody in the structure?
Well, I mean, in structure, what makes my marriage successful is we both understand that there's God, there's man, there's woman. And that doesn't mean that a woman is beneath a man. It just means that there's a hierarchy. There's God, and we're the second self of God. We're the co-created with God. We're in a covenant with him, so we reproduce. So he delegated the responsibility, or shared the responsibility to us to create. We're the only being that could allow another entity inside us and then give birth to another entity and feed both of them. We're the only entity that can do that. But there is a hierarchy, and there's a understanding of roles. I understand my role as a wife, and he understands his role as a husband. But we both understand that we both have a higher authority, and that's God. And so we try not to disrespect our highest authority. And when you submit to that authority, your relationship just falls right in place. So I've been married going on 27 years.
Wow. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And then what about advice for your friends? Because sometimes friends don't have boundaries.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes, I'm a very big advocate on teaching on the respect of boundaries. and setting boundaries, because oftentimes if you don't set boundaries, people exceed them. And when they exceed them, they hurt feelings. And if you don't set them up, you'll constantly be the person on the receiving end of your feelings being hurt, and the other person not even realizing that they're hurting you. So it's best to set up boundaries and have both parties come to an agreement on it so that you have an effective relationship. Just like companies, there's boundaries, there's departments. If you work in marketing, you don't step over in the law department. That's just not how it works. There's rules of engagement and there's partnerships that are formed, but you just don't walk over in their department and try to take over. It's boundaries in everything that we do. It's like when you're driving, there's lanes. You just don't come over on the other side. You have to be cautious. So in every aspect of life, there's boundaries. When we raise children, okay, there's boundaries. We can joke with mom and dad, but there's a level of respect. The joking stops to a certain point.
So what would you tell your friend or someone that's your friend, like, okay, like for instance, an example of a boundary, like, don't talk to me about something, or what would, like what?
I tell people, friends, don't share your personal relationships with your mate, with everybody, with your friend. I don't need to know what's going on in your relationship. I don't have to have intimate details in your relationship. I can be your support system, but there are just certain things that you don't need to, everybody don't need to know. Because if there's difficulty and I run and tell my girlfriend all my business and she say, girl, leave them, then I don't leave them. And then when she's telling me, girl, all the stuff you're telling me, it's not right, you should leave them, then I want to be mad at her. You know what I mean? Or him. It happens both ways. We bring people into our relationships, and then it becomes horrible, because now the relationship that's 2 becomes 3 and 4, because we're bringing all these people in our relationships, and then when we want to kick them out, but then we want to run back to them when we want to have interaction. We exceed the boundaries ourselves in our own relationship. So you just have to set guidelines for respect and stay within those guidelines, and you'll have a very good friendship.
So in other words, that you're saying that if you're friends, but don't ask me about certain things, like if I don't want to tell you about that.
Exactly. Like I have a friend, she just don't pop up at my house. I have a friend that's not married, so she respects, there's boundaries. She just don't pop up at my house. She's like, I know you're married. I just can't pop up at your house. I have to respect the fact that you are in a relationship. I'm not just gonna pop up. So typically we get together. I'll stop by her house, and it's out of respect, and those boundaries are set because she says, I want to respect the union that you have. So I would more likely hang out with her at her house before she'll just stop by my house. I mean, those are things that can create issues. Not to say that every friend would do something, but it's just things that become inappropriate, or people crossing their boundaries inappropriately. It's just, I remember when I first got married, I didn't see my husband's best friends. I saw them at the wedding. They were in the wedding. I didn't see them for like 5 years.
What?
Because I know they called. I answered the phone, but I didn't see them because
you didn't see them in your space.
In my space, right? But once our relationship became secure, then buddies come over, they bring their wives and so forth. But
so they let you build your relationship.
Well, that was something that me and my husband did. Like, my friends didn't come over. We set those boundaries so that we could solidify our relationship.
Wow. So boundaries. So, a lot of people don't like that word, boundaries. But you know what? You have to set boundaries, because if you don't, people be asking all kinds of questions, and sometimes you don't want to answer something, and then they're still pounding you. Woo! And that's another thing of a boundary, right? If you don't want to say something.
That's true. The definition of love is freedom, justice, and equality. If someone loves you, they want freedom for you, they want justice for you, and they want equality for you. So if I love you, I'm going to respect boundaries, and I'm going to allow you to set them so that we can have a productive and a growing relationship. Some people are just too controlling in relationships. They want I want you to do things when I want you to do something. You're my friend, so when I want to hang out, you should hang out with me. But the hell with what you want to do, we're gonna do what I want to do. And I've had friends like that where I'm sorry, I don't want to eat Chinese food today. Well, that's what I want to eat. Well, we're always eating what you want to eat. Well, what kind of
Like,
friendship is
you
that?
want to eat, if you want to eat something else, or if you don't want to go somewhere, they
Exactly.
got to understand that you don't want to go because you don't want to go. It's not that you're weak or you're not doesn't want to thing, but sometimes you just don't want to go, and they got
That's
to
true.
understand and be okay with that.
Yeah, it's got to be a balance. We both have
Hmm.
to get what we want. Have to be a win-win. Okay,
Hmm.
well, let's balance this out. You had your way sometimes, let me have our way, and then we bring balance to the relationship, and we're both happy.
And some people don't respect time.
True. That's true. They
Time.
don't. They
That's
don't.
a big. That's a big time. When
Yes.
you set aside a time and then somebody comes at 1 or 2, the time is supposed to be 12, and they get there for 2. That
Yes.
I find that is total disrespect.
Oh, yes. You're
I
right.
don't know
Which
about you, but me,
D-Boss, I'm like you. I agree. If we agree to hang out at 1, why would you
you
wait
better
3
get
o'clock?
ready at 1.
Don't wait for 3 o'clock.
Don't wait because if I take my clothes back off, I am not putting them back on.
That's true. That's true. And I think it has a lot to do with maturity as well. Some
Yeah,
people are just not mature enough for grown relationships. They're just very immature.
don't be telling me you're coming and then you're not even ready yet. You didn't even leave your house yet. It's like, excuse me.
That's,
And here you are sitting there ready, and they're not even left their house yet. And it's going to take them about maybe an hour or 45 minutes to get to you. So I find that's a big pet peeve with me. That I don't like that at all. Be on time.
that's true. That's true. I have friends that are in school, so it's like when finals come around, I have to respect that. That's where
Right.
those boundaries are set. I can be supportive. How's school going? I just want to check in on you. I know you're busy. Girl, I'm not gonna hold you up. I just want you to know I love you. I'm supporting you. If you need me, I'm here.
Ciao.
But you got some friends, oh, you don't care about me. School is more important than me. It's like, yeah, it is. I mean, this is
Because I have to
somebody's
have to finish.
right. It's like, but
I
you
have
have
to do
grown
my
people.
thing. I have to finish.
You
You
have
know.
grown people that would try to put you in a position that you have to choose between what's important to them. It's like, no, come on, let's respect that people have other obligations outside of us, and it's not about us. We can't be in a relationship with someone and make it all about us. Then it won't be a growing relationship. It'll be toxic.
Yeah. Or if you don't call somebody back, you didn't do it on purpose. You're just like, I was on a conference call. I'm sorry. I didn't, you know what I mean?
That's
And
true.
they're holding it to, and it's not like I'm like, well, I called you back, at least. But thank God you can got the texting and stuff. So,
That's true.
so, so people come to you as part of your company for that. So it's that type of stuff for you for consulting, or that's just one aspect.
That's just one aspect.
Okay.
Much of my consulting is dealing with small businesses,
Okay.
and just helping them develop themselves as leader, helping them analyze to see what's wrong with the company, why is it not growing.
Okay.
When I was in banking, one of the biggest labels that my customers gave me was I was the connector. So I'm very good at
Ooh,
connecting people. My biggest question to people is what keeps you up at night? That's one of the most important questions to ask a business owner, because now you're speaking their language, because as a business owner, a lot of the risk falls on you. There is no
yes.
company you work for that has a risk management department. You are head of the risk management department of your own company. So that's a very big question, a most important question to ask a business owner: what keeps you up at night? And that
Yeah,
way
a
you
lot of people say money, making money, how to make more money, how to turnkey what I'm doing into something.
That's true. And the biggest thing with business owners is just that succession planning aspect. What happens to my company when I'm not here? What happens if I get into a bad accident? What happens to me? What happens to
Mhm.
my company? Who's going to take it over? I mean, it's a very sad thing when
Wow.
you're talking to a business owner and they say, my children don't want to inherit the business. That's a very difficult crossroad for any business owner to be on, when they know I can't be here forever, but I want my company to live on forever. So
Right.
that is one of the biggest obstacles for business owners.
Because a
So
lot of companies stop, when the owners stop, everything stops.
exactly, Exactly.
All right. So tell us about is the Royal Empress.
Oh, Royal Empress is an organization, a not-for-profit organization that I am a co-founder with my other co-founder is Hakeemah Shabazz, and we founded Royal Empress as an organization to help uplift the Black woman emotionally, spiritually, socially, economically, intellectually. And we have a podcast called Conversations with the Royal Empress, and it's on YouTube, it's on Podbean, it's on Apple Play or Apple something, iTunes. That's it. It's on Spotify, it's iHeartRadio, but we have over 95 topics where we deal with
Wow.
issues that affect the Black woman or the original woman, I will say. So we're very dedicated to trying to educate and uplift the woman because a nation rises no higher than its woman. If the woman mindset is low, then the nation is going to be low. So when you elevate the woman, you elevate everyone in her family, you elevate her community, you elevate her nation, you elevate the world.
Wow. So you researched your name,
Mm-hmm.
Hakeemah,
Mm-hmm.
and it says a sage, a philosopher, and a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So you researched and you found that out about yourself?
Yes, actually, that was stuff that was labels that people had already started calling me. So,
Wow.
and a name is a title, so you have to live up to it. So, but
Well,
I was
those are very big titles there, a sage.
I was already living up to it before I had the name. So, I mean, a sage is a guide. When as a young girl, 1920, I used to sit under wise people, scholars. I used to sit up under them and try to learn. I just lost a very dear sister, a mentor, a sister that I did personal security on, and Dr. Minister Ava Muhammad. And a lot of people familiar with Public Enemy, when they would hear a woman speaking that they sampled, that was her voice. And very powerful woman, very powerful speaker. And that was one woman that helped strengthen me because I watched her. So I was always that person, that young person that was trying to mimic those who were in their 40s, 50s, 60s. I was their student. And so that was how I was able to develop those skill sets because I would sit at the feet of the elders.
Wow. So you got a new book out,
Yes.
Lioness. So tell us about that.
Okay, let me
And
show
show
it,
us it.
Sure. A Lioness Awaken the Warrior Spirit Within. This is a book that I was asked to write. Actually
You
worked.
were asked to write this one?
Yeah, I was asked by several people to say, you need to write a book on how you became a strong individual. I work actually, I'm a counselor in a maximum security prison. And I
Okay.
deal with the men and I deal with the most aggressive men.
The men.
Yes, the men, and I deal with the most aggressive them. But prior to that, I spent 7 years as an officer. And so just being able to maintain divine femininity and to maintain my ethics, my spirituality, it was a battle. And every woman can't do it. Every woman can't do it. You're either going to submit to that environment because the prize is the woman, or either you're going to rise up and you're going to conquer it. And so I had a choice to make. And so I chose to rise above it and not let it affect me, not let it destroy me or own me or control me. So in just doing such, people would say, hey, you need to write about it. You need to, these experiences that you have, you need to write about it. And so this is how this book came about.
Wow. So it's a step. So this is what you teach when you go into the maximum security prisons and teach this?
So a lot of it, the dynamics that I talk about in the book is the beta male and the alpha male and how the woman is caught in between that. A beta male meaning the weaker man and the alpha male being the stronger man, but the one in between is the woman and they're both fighting to control her. The first step in Lioness Awaken the Warrior Spirit Within is acknowledging who the devil is, who the enemy of myself, that I have to conquer before I can even conquer the enemy without. So that's very important.
Wow. So let's just show the book again. So it doesn't look like it's a big book, right?
No, it's not. It's like 90 some pages. It's Lioness Awaken the Warrior
Easy.
Spirit Within. If you can't say what you got to say in 100 pages, it don't need to be said. People are busy. People are mobile. They don't have time to read 500 pages. So I get right to the point, but I've had readers tell me you need a part two. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to do a part two, but based on some personal experiences that have happened recently, my interaction with some sex traffickers, and I'm
So
ready
maybe
to
you got to
start
do
writing
something.
point two. I'm going to do a part two.
Well, you could do a phase two, phase one, phase two, or
Yes, but it's actually 5 steps. It's actually five
5
steps.
steps.
But you got to buy the book to read the other 4.
Wow. So how much is it to get the book if people want to get it?
Man, it's $15. But
No.
you can go on Amazon and it'll be discounted. You can go on
Okay.
Barnes and Nobles. You can go on Amazon. You can pretty much go on any digital outlet to get the book.
Well, that's really good. That's a good price. And then also, you were also founded an ABW. That's the Aspiring Black Women.
Yes. Aspiring Black Women was an organization of strong women. And what we wanted to do was to do something in the community. And so we went out and we developed events. We purchased property and housed people. We wanted to just
Wow.
bring our skills and talent to the community, and that's what we did.
Woo. And then you also started Emblazon,
And Blazing Entertainment
Emblazman
was a
Entertainment.
label that I had, right? That was a label that I
What?
had.
What haven't you done?
You know what? I'm being honest. Yeah, I love music, and so that I always wanted to own a label. But dealing with artists is difficult. I mean,
It
dealing with
is.
artists is very difficult. They can be highly emotional. Um, really not really listening. So I mean,
They
that was
don't
the reason why I
listen.
don't
Yeah,
have it
it's
anymore.
hard
They
for them
don't
to
listen.
listen.
I always tell them, if your friends and family that you want to listen to right now, if they really cared about you like you say they do, they would have paid for you to get your music mixed and mastered. They would pay to promote you every month. I mean, like some artists' whole life goal is just to be big in their community, but there's a whole globe of people who need to hear your music, and your friends and family are not going to ensure that they get it. So that's where a company comes in. But some people can't handle quick success.
Hmm.
So when success comes very quickly, it goes to the head.
Yeah.
But even when you prepare them for that, they have to live it. And many of them learn it the hard way. And then when you check back in 5 years, they're not doing anything. And then they get upset when those artists that they see are successful, that they know that they have more talent than, but the difference between you and them is they listened. They
and,
listened.
and and that and that's where the boundaries, and they're not going within your boundaries of to tell them what you need to do.
Right. I'm like, I'm up 3, 4 in the morning talking to big time DJs to get your music played, and you think you're being played because you so dope. No, I mean
No,
relationships is what gets you out there. And once the DJ say, I'm gonna try, you gotta pay these guys. They ain't doing this stuff for free.
for
This is how
free.
they eat. So you pay these guys, and when the people start liking it, then that's when it builds its momentum. But some artists live in fantasy world, so it's like the world don't evolve around you, sweetheart. We have to create the world that's going to evolve around you. It just don't automatically. We have to create an environment that's conducive to your skills and talent. That's what a label does. And so I'm like, you know what? This is not what I want to continue to do. So
So what more can we expect from Dr. Muhammad?
I'm working on some things. I'm working on a play. I'm working on I hate to put out there what I'm working on because I'm a
Oh,
firm
okay.
believer that when you put it out there, you can plan, but God comes and says, "Nah, that's not the plan I
That's
want."
not
He
what
can
you're supposed to
derail
do
it.
yet.
But I'm really working to develop a stronger connection between the community and Black businesses and HBCU. So this is something coming. It's coming. I don't want to put it out there yet.
So have you done any acting?
Oh no, I am not an actress. I'm very dramatic, though. I've been told. When people read the book and they hear about people are gonna read this book, and when I share experiences in there that are real, people are gonna think she's lying. She had to be acting. This is not real. No, those are real situations. But I don't have the acting talent that I know of. But I am very dramatic, though. Very animated.
But you push and you inspire so many people in your life, and and that's very critical. And you're an important voice. So, even though they may not get it the first time, they're still thinking when things happen or something goes wrong, they're saying, oh, Dr. Muhammad told me that.
Yes,
They said that.
I mentor quite a few people, so you're right.
So, are there anything that you want to leave a word or anything for anybody from, because this is Real Life Matters, and people always, and they we've learned so much from you just in this little short time that you were on. But there's any word that you want to say to anybody to lead them, to inspire them or something?
You know what? And this is something that I share with the men who are really aggressive men who are incarcerated. And I always tell them a person can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. So if a person will lie to them, get up every morning and lie to themselves, it's so easy for them to lie to you. So often when I talk to these young men and talk about their past, it's full of so much disappointment. And so that's my words of encouragement to them is don't look for someone to be genuine and authentic with you if they can't be that with themselves. And when I deal with people, that's what I look for. And so I don't take it personal if this person shows me something that I don't like or that's offensive. I have to understand this is where they at, and you have to accept them where they at. So I look to see how deeply they met themselves, and that's when I'll know it's safe to give a little more of myself. So I tell people, make people earn you, make them earn your heart, because if you give it too soon and they walk all over it, you're going to be hurt, and then you'll start being stingy with your heart. No, just be slow with it. Don't rush it.
Mm. Well, that you hear that, people? That's a word of wisdom for your soul. So if you didn't get that one and didn't feel it, well, then I think you got to go back and listen to the podcast again.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So if people want to look you up and find you on social media, where can they find you?
Okay, I have my email. You can call Haqq the Ruler, HAQQTHERULER @gmail.com. You can reach me at www.royalempress.org. That's my organization. HaqqJihadEnterprises.com. That's me. You can catch me on Instagram and Facebook as Dr. H.J. Muhammad.
Okay.
Yes,
I tried to look you. I tried to look you up and I couldn't find you because there was, you don't put in Muhammad.
Oh yeah. You got to be specific.
You will not find her there.
Yeah. You just can't put Dr. Muhammad in. You might pull up
You'll pull up some other people you don't want to see.
You pull up chiropractors. You pull up some of everybody.
Oh.
Mental health, So it's
Mm-hmm.
Dr. H.J. Muhammad. But definitely check me out at royalempress.org. There's Conversations with the Royal Empress podcast. YouTube. It's Spotify, iHeart Radio, Pandora. Check it out. I'm telling you some wonderful topics on there.
All right. Well, I'm telling you, it's been a pleasure,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Muhammad, for you coming on and telling us about the book. You guys go out there, purchase the book. It's going to help you.
Yes.
And when I get my copy, don't ask me for mine because I'm not giving it up.
That's right.
And that's my boundary.
That's right. That's your boundary. So you can have any book, not this one.
Go buy your own.
That's true. Yeah.
But you got to come back. I want you to come back and talk to us some more about the different things that you do. Relating to your consulting and boundaries, because I know a lot of people. We're here. Real Life Matters is not just here as a TV show. Yes, we do, but we're here to educate the people.
Okay.
And what you talked about today, I'm pretty sure everybody is going to say, "Wow, I got to get in touch with her."
Yes.
And they're gonna feel something, because I can feel it, and I feel it, and I feel the energy, I feel the spirit, I feel it, and I'm pretty sure in that book they're gonna feel it, because when they're gonna feel that line coming out.
Oh yeah, they're gonna feel the lioness. I'm telling you, they're gonna feel it. They might have to put the book down for a minute and say, "Man, that's too much. That's too much. That's too much power."
So you're gonna come back. We're gonna come back before the holidays.
Yes.
You don't have to write the new thing. You just come back and just talk to us about different things you're doing.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
all right. Well, I do want to thank you again, and I do want to thank the viewers for watching tonight. Real Life Matters here with Dr. Muhammad, an inspiring, positive woman. Go check her out, please.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, so everybody, so bye for now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.